Well, hello, it's Tony from Ultratec Special Effects today. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we're here today with the fog curtain, so looking pretty good back there. So I don't have any fans on and anything here, so it's going to smoke me out here in a second. Anyways, welcome to our live stream today. Sorry it's a little bit late, but better late than never. So anyways, we're here to talk about the fog curtain. I've got one set up there behind on a truss. It's 14 feet high and it's one of our 10-foot wide sections. So it's using today the Eclipse fog generator with the G3000. We're using molecular fluid and we're using high pressured CO2 today for chilling with the dip tube. It's a 20-pound bottle, so that's enough to last about 3 minutes or so. So anyways, the fog curtain, you know, as you can see, makes an incredibly beautiful effect. You can run maybe 20 feet of them together is what we recommend is the most for one LSG unit. If you're going to do that too, you can see we have the Eclipse on the ground here, and we're using the hose to get it up to the top. You could fly that Eclipse too at your level, especially if you're going to be a lot higher, so you don't have to pump all that smoke up to it. So, but at this height, it's not a problem at all to do. So anyways, the different components involved in the system, of course, is the Eclipse and the G3000. And then we use our 10-inch flex hose to get it up to the unit on the top up there. And then we use one of our flex to rigid adapters into the material itself. And then of course the pipe itself. So anyways, this here is a very short section of it, but so you can kind of see how it's made. It's got the 6-inch long tubing. There's 45 of these on a 10-foot section, and the size of these holes is 1.25 inches for each one. So they're 2.5 inches apart on each one like that. So if you want to stop up the end, we have a cap that we can put on the end that's very short and flat and doesn't take up a lot of space on the end like the old one that we used to sell. But anyways, it's just a flat piece of plastic material with the holes drilled in it and a gasket on there. So we just line that up back on there again, and it's got 8 screws in there to secure it. I'm not going to put all the screws in for this demo just to save some time. Our internet's been in and out, and I don't want this thing to go away if we can help it. So anyways, now if you want to join multiple sections of the tube, here's my original tube that I had. And you can see at the end, there's a two gap space like that. So we're going to put in this little stainless steel ring in there first, and then we can put our other section on. Now this one doesn't have any holes in it, but for demonstration reasons, it'll work. And then we have this new clamping mechanism that we've had devised recently. And you would just put that around at your joint. It's cut to fit, so it goes around the matches the circumference of the inner part of the ring. And fumble with this for a second. I've just got a wing that's on here today so I can put it together a little simpler for you, but I would recommend, you know, a permanent installation nylock. And then just tighten these up with your wrenches and with that tube in there, and that it's a very rigid connection like that. So you can join your 2 10-foot pipes with this, and you just have a small gap. The next hole would be here. Unless you're really low, you won't really notice that, you know, the missing hole or two here, because it'll all homogenize back together real quickly. So now these brackets that we're using for attaching these can also be used for hanging it. You would just need you know, like a longer piece of the unistrut going through there with your clamp of choice, or straight to unistrut, you know, if it's up top up there. So there you've got an end cap, you've got your two pieces joined. Next thing you have to do is attach the flex tubing to it. So then you would just put one of these in place inside there, and then your flex tubing would attach to this. So here's the 10-inch flex tubing. So this, you know, fits over here fine. And then we have a band clamp that comes with these parts, to attaching that onto there as well. If you have to cut your tubing, you're going to end up with this jagged piece in here. So we just recommend taking a knife and cutting this back right to the edge of this, you know, the spine, you know, the spring spine part, and then it'll slide over that much easier. You also have an option nowadays of using these gigantic tie wraps, and that would secure it as well without any problem. So basically that's all the components that are used to put it together. We also have T's and elbows, you know, if you need to hard pipe it into a certain position. If it's a permanent installation, you might want to hard pipe it, not use the flex materials at all. But, or you might want to use your 1LSG in conjunction with like the floor pocket that we showed a couple of weeks ago. We have a damper product that you can put in there, so you can put this in a T and have one direction of the T leading to your floor pocket and the other going to your fog curtain. Now the floor pocket's got a good seal on it, so when it closes, it's pretty, you know, no smoke's going to go that way, but smoke's going to try to go the easiest route. It may be, for it to go up might be easier than down. So you put one of these dampers in there, and you can control it with the DMX to open and close as well. So and that's a handy product we sell. It's a round damper. So anyways, that's pretty much all the different parts we have. I'm glad to see the internet is all together so far. So I was wondering if there's any questions, anything anybody may have had.
No questions as of yet. We just had Carl. Hi, Carl. He had made a suggestion about the Carl Seymour. I think you remember, he worked for Cirque.
Okay.
He had a suggestion about the clamp, maybe putting a hole in it so that you could attach a clamp or eye bolt to it. And then Link is asking, how has the fog curtain been utilized in live events and sporting events?
Well, it's often used for entrances, or you can project on it. Projection angle has to be pretty much spot on, though, because it starts to change shape and homogenize. If you get off axis of it too much, it really doesn't work. But if you got a nice strong projector and your point of view is straight on where the projector is, it works really good for a projection curtain as well. So let's see if it'll conceal me. So I may not have enough space to get behind it or not, but here we go again. So at first we're running just the CO2 to get it cold, and now we're adding the smoke from the curtain there. So,
well, there's a beautiful picture for, you know, my picture on Facebook right now. My actual profile pic is a pic that Tony took of me standing in the fog curtain. And yes, Tony, you almost disappeared.
So it worked. I mean, I was pretty much in there. So, like I said, this is about 14, 15 feet high here. Our maximum ceiling height is 17 here, and I can't get to it, even though. So, but anyways, did I mention we were using the molecular fluid for this today? It's, you know, the nice dense white, you know, really good for obscuring things. It's what we would normally use with the Eclipse anyways. So.
Do you have the fans running, or is there a lot of air movement right now, Tony? Because it looks like it's rising a lot in front of you there.
It's cause it's super hot in here. It's like 90 degrees. So I'm just now turning my fans back on for my sake, but they were off when I was running it. So that's just it hitting the floor and rolling back around.
So that's just a good thing for people to keep in mind, that if there's extreme temperatures when you're using any kind of fog, it's definitely not going to stay as low. So maybe in certain circumstances, there's been recommendations of using quick dissipating if you're in hotter climates sometimes.
Right. So I'm gonna just barely kiss it with the smoke this time and see what kind of look we get with it. I had the smoke running pretty heavy before.
Okay. Carl asked, what is the max length you can run with one Eclipse? Carl, that's pretty much the same as what it was with the LSG. So we say that we always recommend a maximum of 20 feet. So 2 fog curtain pieces per Eclipse.
Yeah, if you need to run longer than that, you'd need one on either end or a combination of T's or something like that. So,
but if you ever have any questions like that, Tony's the guy to call, because he knows if you need an install, he'll tell you what you really need to make the best effect.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that use these on, attraction rides too, or you might be riding through it or something like that. That's light, very light stuff though. So you really do have to control your air currents. I've got all my doors shut in here and minimum of fans on just to try to keep me cool in this 90 something degree warehouse. So.
And did we, I don't know if you mentioned at the beginning or not, Tony, but the maximum height we recommend for a fog curtain when you have your Eclipse on the floor?
I wouldn't go too much higher than this on the floor. I mean, you do have a fan control on the clips and you can push it up there a bit, but I think we've had people do 30 feet, but that was with a flown rig, So our hose is 25 foot. You'll get it up there. It may not be, the ultimate, that you could get out of it at the, full height, but.
Okay, Don says to show the clamp so Carl can see that there is holes there.
Oh, okay. Where did I set it? Okay.
So Carl, we were really quick to answer your question of putting the holes in there. They're already there.
Here's one of the clamps by itself, and it's our.
Oh yeah, so there is holes on top. And we may have lost Tony. So if he doesn't happen to come back in the next couple seconds, thanks everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to continue to leave those in the comment section and we will get back to you promptly. If you have any suggestions still about anything that you would like to see in one of our Facebook Live sessions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. As we had stated before, we would go ahead and offer one of our Ultratec swag bag kits to anybody's idea that we choose for a Facebook Live session. Again, thanks for joining us and we hope to see you soon.